Oh, it's Thursday. We have exercise with Exos. We are gonna need enough space to kind of move side to side. If you don't have enough, like a lot of space going side to side, not a problem. You can do it in place. And we're gonna be doing some upper body and then lower body with a little bit of cardio mixed in the lower body, but not too much. 3 rounds, 45, 15. So I'm going to go ahead real quick with demos and then we'll warm up and get into the circuit. So starting off here, we're going to start off on the ground. We're basically going to work our way up to standing position through the first part of the workout. So starting off, we're going to do some Supermans here. So we're going to lift our legs and our arms and our upper body off the ground. We're going to hold for 3 seconds and come back down. So we're working on our back strength and our glute strength here, holding for 3 and coming down. After that, we're going to make our way onto our hands and our toes or hands and knees, whatever feels good for you today. We are going to do a push-up and then alternate it with a pike push-up. So we're going to come down, push up, and up and push up. So lots of push-ups there. And then for our last upper body movement here, we're going to do inchworms. You can add a push-up if you'd like. No pressure there since we are starting off with push-ups. But for the inchworm, again, pushing your hips back, walking your hands out, and you can, again, push up or no push up. And depending on how you're feeling today, you can either walk your hands back or you can walk your feet towards your hands. So whatever feels good for you today. But that's going to be the inchworm. And then moving to our lower body, we're going to do a 1.5 squat. So feet hip width apart, going all the way down, halfway up, all the way down, all the way back up. So that is 1. So doing that. And then I wanted to get some rotation in here for us today. We don't do a lot of rotary exercises. So I wanted to add something today. So we're going to do a reverse lunge with rotation. So starting at the top of our space, stepping back into our reverse lunge, rotating. We want our shoulders to be almost parallel with our thigh here. And then, oh, whoops. We're rotating, and then standing up. And we're going to alternate here. So then stepping back, other side. We rotate fully, come back, and then step up. So it's a separate movement. So we step back, rotate, step up. So that's going to be our 5th movement. And then last but not least, we're going to do some lateral marches. Again, I wanted to get some more lateral movement in there today for us. So if you don't have a whole lot of space, you can always just do a march or a skip in place instead. So that would just look like this. Your knees up. If we have the space, you can always do one to one side and then back. But we're pushing off of our opposite foot, going the direction we're marching towards, and then back where we came. So that is going to be our full workout for today. So we can go ahead and start off with our warm-up. And we're going to go ahead and start off with the world's greatest stretch, as always, because it hits everything we need to open up before our workout today. So when we're ready, interlacing our fingers, grabbing onto one of our knees, pulling towards our chest. You can even do an ankle circle or 2 while we're here. And we are exhaling, step back, reverse lunge, hands coming down on the inside of our front foot. Back leg stays nice and straight, really opening up our hips here. And exhaling, opening up towards our front leg, gazing past our hand. Our thumb is facing behind us. So we're getting that nice opening through our back, getting some rotation in. And exhaling, planting our hand outside of our front foot. Bring our back foot a little bit closer and push our hips up into our hamstring stretch. And let's go ahead, exhale, bring our feet together, push the ground away, and stand on up. Perfect. Okay, on to the next leg. So interlacing our fingers, grabbing onto our other knee, pulling towards our chest. Again, you can do an ankle circle or 2, kind of opening up our calves a little bit here, and our ankles, of course. And let's go ahead, step back, reverse lunge, hands coming down on the inside of our front foot. Back leg staying nice and straight. And let's go ahead, exhale, opening up towards the ceiling, gazing past our hand, again, thumb facing behind us, getting some nice rotation through our neck, through our back. And let's go ahead and exhale, plant our hand outside of our front foot, bring our back a little bit closer, and push our hips up into our hamstring stretch. And we can go ahead and exhale, bring our feet together, push the ground away, and stand on up. All right. Let's go ahead and get our arms and our core warmed up a little bit more. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of plank to pike. We're doing lots of push-ups today. So let's go ahead and get that warmed up. So once we're on our hands and toes, we can go ahead and push our hips up into our down dog. You can pedal your heels, push your head in between your arms, whatever feels good, whatever you need to open up today. And back to plank. We're going to go ahead and do 2 quick ones coming up. And back down. And last one, pushing up. And back to our plank. And then you can go ahead and gently bring your knees to the ground, or go ahead and lower yourself all the way to the ground, because we're starting off face down on the ground for our Superman. So let's go ahead, get ready for that. I'm going to get the timer started here. 3, 2, 1, and go. So laying flat on the ground, all the way stretched out if we have the space. And we are exhaling as we lift our upper body and our legs off the ground, holding for 3 seconds, and then back. So it's a great way to work on our glute strength, our low back strength, and also the strength of our upper back and the backs of our shoulders. We want to make sure we are leading with our body, not with our head. We don't want to strain our neck at all. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, push up into a pike push up. So lots of push ups here. You can either be hands and knees or hands and toes, but we are getting ready. 3, 2, 1. So throwing our hands into the ground so our upper back is nice and flat. Doing our regular push up. And then our pike push up. So making sure that in our pike push up, our head is coming as close to the ground as we can. We are trying to get our head in between our hands. We need to come forward a little bit more. There we go. Elbows coming down towards our legs, not out to the side. And then into our regular push-up. Great job. 3, 2, 1. All right. Last upper body movement of round 1. We have our inchworm. So you can either add a push-up or do no push-up, whatever feels good for you today. 3, 2, 1. I feel like I haven't done push-ups in a while. I don't know how accurate that is, but I'm gonna go ahead and add a push-up. And because we are working on our upper body for these first 3, I'm gonna go ahead and walk my hands back to my feet. But if you want to do the reverse, whatever feels good for you today, whatever you want to work on. Great job, y'all. Trying to get as many of these as we can. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Arms are going to be noodles after this. Next up, 1.5 squat. Throwing all the way down, halfway up, all the way down, all the way up. 3, 2, 1. So having our feet hip width apart, toes pointed forward, letting our knees track past our second toe. Making sure too our core is engaged. We're not pushing our hips forward at the top of our squat, keeping everything nice and stacked here. Pushing through our whole foot. We want to feel this not only in our quads, we are going to feel it in our glutes as well as we stand up. job. And some isometric work here, the halfway point. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we are doing reverse lunge with our rotation, and we're going to alternate our legs. So we step back, rotate to the side, and then forward, and then back up. 3, 2, 1. So we're here, knees over our second toe, chest over the arch of our front foot, turning towards our front leg, back and up. So we are again going to get a little bit of an isometric hold here, make it a little bit more challenging. We're recruiting a little bit more muscle fibers here, while we are also working on our rotation, which is always important for general movement. We rotate more than we think we do, but we also don't do it enough throughout our day while we're working. So that's why I wanted to add a little bit of that in here today. 3, 2, 1. All right. Last part of our first round, we have a lateral march. So doing as many as you can side to side, even if that's just one, or you can march or skip in place. 3, 2, 1. So we're getting our knees up. We're pushing off the opposite foot of the direction we're going in. So when I go to the right, I'm pushing off my left foot. Stay nice and tall for our torso. This is going to help us strengthen the muscles we use to move side to side, which we also do a lot during the day as well. Maybe we're crossing the street, we're stepping off, or not even crossing the street, if we're just stepping off the sidewalk, maybe we're getting out of the way. We don't want to injure ourselves in our everyday movements. So it's going to help us strengthen those muscles a little bit. 3, 2, 1. All right. That is one round down. 2 more to go. Back on the ground with our Supermans. 3, 2, 1. So we do want to make sure too that as we're in this position, our shoulder blades are pulled down and back. We want our shoulders and our ears to stay away from each other. We don't want to shrug our arms up. So squeezing our armpits, lifting our bodies up. Again, making sure we're not leading with our head. We're leading with our bodies. Holding for 3 seconds at the top. Lots of isometric work today. Great job. 3, 2, 1. All right. Up next, push-up to pike push-up. That's a lot of push-ups here, but we got this. 3, 2, 1. Hopefully doing the mix of the push-up, the full push-up, and our pike push-up. Maybe we can do a few more than we normally would be able to. I know for me, breaking it up makes it easier to do a few extra full push-ups before I do have to make it down to my knees, because I know at some point I will have to, because push-ups are hard for me. There's nothing wrong with that. It's all about doing what feels good for you. Listen to your body, but also push yourself. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Whew. My arms are toast. Okay. Next up, inchworm. Again, with or without the push-up, and you can either walk your hands or your feet wherever you're at today. 3, 2, 1. So push our hips back. Want to keep our back as flat as we can as we're coming down to the ground. Walking our hands to our plank. And you can either do your push-up, or you can even hold your plank for a second or two. And then again, either walking our hands or our feet. But making sure too, we are standing up all the way in between, because we do still want to work on our legs a little bit here as well. Great job. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Next up, 1.5 squat. Onto our lower body now. 3, 2, 1. So again, same positioning here, right? Core is engaged, our back is nice and flat. We're wearing our logo proud, so we're squeezing our armpits. All the way down, halfway, all the way, all the way. If you even, because we are kind of holding halfway a little bit, right? We are again engaging a few more muscle fibers. You can make it a little bit more challenging for yourself as well by slowing it down, adding an extra pause. The longer it takes us to do a rep, the more time under tension, the more strength we're going to gain from that. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, reverse lunge with our rotation. So again, separate movement. We step back, rotate, come back, up. 3, 2, 1. And the reason why I want us to do it in separate movements, reason number 1, we want that isometric hold here in our legs. But the other part, right, is that I want us to focus on rotating our core without having any help from our lower body. So the rotation is just as big as an aspect of the movement. When inhale, open up. Exhale, use our core to bring ourselves back to center. Good job. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Last up, lateral march. Then we have one more round. Then we're going to cool down a little bit, be on with the rest of our day. 3, 2, 1. So if you don't have a whole lot of space, you can always just do one back and forth, and that still is going to help us get out of it what we need to. You can also make that step a little bit wider, or if you do have space, maybe you're doing two back. Get whatever feels good for you. If you don't have the space today, no problem. You can always do it in place, and you can do a march or a skip. I find it for the lateral ones, the marches sometimes are a little bit better because the skip, you get hard of like, figuring out how to step, all that stuff. 3, 2, 1. All right. 2 down, 1 to go. Supermans are first. 3, 2, 1. So we are pulling our armpits down and back. Holding for 3 seconds and back down. I always like to make sure that everything is set. Exhale and lift. We are strengthening a little bit our low back muscles, but we also really want to use our glutes to lift our legs up. Great job. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. All right, we are done with those for today. Up next, we have push-up into our pike push-up. We are getting ready. 3, 2, 1. Okay. 1 each. It's our last round. We're bound to be a little bit more fatigued than we were the first 2. So where we got to be mentally strong, keep pushing ourselves. Try and get a few more in here. We're almost done with push-ups. for today. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Done with those. Last push-up movement here. We got inchworms. You don't have to do a push-up, but we might as well. Last round, best round. 3, 2, 1. And we really push ourselves. We're gaining mental strength. We're also building new pathways in our brain when we do that. That can then translate into the other areas of our life, whether it be work, our other fitness endeavors we have, whatever it is that we want to perform at. And it's going to help us be able to perform better physically and mentally. Great job. I know performance looks different for everyone, but the point is that we're building our physical and mental strength here. 3, 2, 1. All right, we are done with our upper body. We got our last 3 movements. We have 1.5 squats first, and that's what's coming up next. 3, 2, 1. All right. So as I was saying last time, if you take the movement, slow it down a little bit more, we're going to recruit more muscle fibers, and that's how we get stronger and how we build more muscle over time, especially without adding any weight. We're just putting more load still on our legs, on our muscles by doing so. Great job. Now our legs are tired, at least mine are. 3, 2, 1. All right, we are done with those for today. Shake your legs out if you need to. And reverse lunges with rotation. And then we have lateral marches. And then we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna finish off with some pretzel today. 3, 2, 1. All right. Driving through our front leg. Even our chest over our front foot. Finishing strong here. Getting some alternative core work in. 3, 2, 1. All right, done with those for today. Last movement of the afternoon, lateral marches. 3, 2, 1, and we are going. The last movement. Try and keep those torsos nice and tall. Pushing off the foot. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Get our knees up as high as we can. Arms always get confused. Great job. Almost there. Keep moving, even if it's just in place. 3, 2, 1. And that is it for today's circuit. So go ahead and grab a sip of water if you need it. And then we're gonna go ahead and be on the ground on our sides here. Way for some pretzel. So on our side. And if you don't know the checklist, I'm gonna let us all know. We're gonna walk through it here. We're gonna take our top leg when we're on our side. It's gonna come up over across our body, knee and ankle. Stay on the ground. Bottom hand goes on top of our knee. Top hand grabs onto our bottom foot or ankle. We're gonna do a nice big inhale. And exhaling, bringing our top shoulder towards the ground. We're gonna do a few deep breaths here. Really starting to slow our breath down. Allow our bodies to fully relax as we exhale. And let's go ahead and do one more breath here. And as we finish our exhale, we're going to go ahead and gently release out of that, returning to our starting position. And then we are going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So laying on our side here, same checklist. So top leg comes up over across our body, knee and ankle stay on the ground. Bottom hand grabs onto our top knee. Top hand grabs onto our bottom foot or ankle. Nice big inhale. And exhaling, bringing our top shoulder towards the ground. Same thing. Relax all of our muscles, letting our body sink further into the ground. Really letting our exhales be longer than our inhales. And one more breath here. And as we finish our exhale, we can gently return back to our side and feel free to stay laying on the ground, or you can return to a seated, kneeling, or standing position, whatever feels good for you. But that is going to be all the time I have left for today. So thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to stay hydrated with the heat. And I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next